What's up, everyone? Tera Roberts here with FantasyPros, and today I am counting down 10 wide receivers to avoid in your fantasy drafts. But before we dive in, want a chance to win a signed Gabriel Davis Buffalo Bills jersey courtesy of our friends at Pristine Auction? Subscribe to the FantasyPros YouTube channel right now, comment below on this video, and that's it. We will be announcing the winner right here on the channel, so make sure to turn on those notifications so you can be alerted when new episodes are up and to claim your prize. Now let's go ahead and dive in. First up, number 10, Treylon Burks. Treylon Burks' ADP is not out of line for now, but it's going to rise with the news of his conditioning issues improving. We saw last year with Ja'Marr Chase that negative offseason rookie news doesn't mean that you can't have a breakout year, but I just don't see it happening with Burks. Conditioning issues aside, I don't think he immediately steps into a wide receiver 1 role. Burks may take some time to adjust to the NFL, more similar to Amon-Ra St. Brown than Ja'Marr Chase, which ultimately means you'll have to hold on to him through some struggles before the breakout comes. I'd prefer to avoid him and go with more game-ready rookie receivers being drafted after him. At number 9, Russell Gage. The Tampa Bay wide receivers are going to be a hot topic over the next several weeks. With Chris Godwin recovering from his ACL injury, Rob Gronkowski retiring, and Mike Evans as the only man left standing, Russell Gage has been a hot commodity in the offseason. But things have gotten very muddled over the past week. Godwin seems to be recovering quicker than expected, and the Bucs signed Julio Jones. And while Jones may not be the player he once was, and he may not be someone that we need to target in our fantasy drafts, his presence does put a damper on opportunities for Gage. He'll still be a usable asset with Brady at quarterback, but it'll be more inconsistent than we want from someone at his current ADP. At 8, Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett is a boom or bust player that may seem like a huge steal at wide receiver 37 for someone who has finished within the top 20 at the position for 4 years in a row. But that was under Russell Wilson. And now Lockett is stuck with Geno Smith or Drew Lock. Lockett averaged just 11 fantasy points per game in PPR last year with Smith, and true to his boom-bust nature, the range of points scored was as low as 3 and as high as 26. You'll just never feel comfortable starting Lockett. He's someone I'm just going to avoid drafting. At number 7, Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas started off training camp on the PUP list and quickly came off. And while that's a good sign that they're just being cautious with him, I'm still skeptical of what we'll actually see on the field. There's no denying that Michael Thomas at his best is a guaranteed wide receiver 1. But Thomas is far removed from that prior success way back in 2019. I think expectations are higher than the reality of what we'll see on the field. Thomas's ADP would have to drop for me to feel comfortable drafting him, and I have a bad feeling that it's only going to rise as we move forward in training camp. At number 6, Jerry Jeudy. The Denver wide receiver core is one of the greatest mysteries of 2022. Courtland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy are both very talented and capable of being the team's wide receiver 1, and it's hard to gauge who truly has the upside based off of last season, because the Broncos' quarterback play and offensive scheme will look vastly different this year. But my bet is on Courtland Sutton. He's the receiver we've seen put together a fully successful season and have stretches with high production. Jeudy is being drafted not even a full round behind Sutton. I'd prefer him at a lower ADP and will pass on him. Coming in at number 5, Amari Cooper. Occasionally, players you've sworn you will avoid fall into your lap at a price you just can't refuse. Amari Cooper is one of the very few players that I will not draft under any circumstances unless we have 100% clarity who will be playing at quarterback and for how long. The Browns' passing game will be in shambles with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. Drafting a wide receiver 2 who could realistically finish in the wide receiver 4 range at best is terrifying. I will not be drafting Amari Cooper. At number 4, Marquise Brown. Marquise Brown is someone who I thought would be a fantastic value target early in the offseason. But as we get closer to the season, his ADP has continued to rise, and I just can't justify the pick now. DeAndre Hopkins will return, and we have to remember he is returning from suspension, not injury. He will jump right back into being the Cardinals' wide receiver 1, leaving Brown with a capped ceiling. Through the first 7 games of 2021 when Hopkins was healthy, the Cardinals' then wide receiver 2 Christian Kirk averaged 13.7 fantasy points per game. That is not the type of production I want from a guy that I am drafting as a top 20 receiver. At number 3, Jaylen Waddle. Jaylen Waddle's rookie season was overshadowed by Ja'Marr Chase, Let's put some respect on the man that had a 1,000-yard, 6-touchdown season coming off a significant injury in his final year at Alabama. So it pains me to put Waddle on this list because I had such high hopes for him in his second year. But Miami went all in to get TYREEK Hill and significantly damaged Waddle's upside. While I do think we'll still see high performance games from Waddle, they might be more inconsistent than we'd like to see from a top 15 receiver. We're asking a lot of Tua Tagovailoa to support both Waddle and Hill, and we don't have a lot of evidence that he can do so. Coming in at number 2, A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is coming off a season with under 900 yards, 5 touchdowns, and just 13.9 fantasy points per game. And with a healthy season, he can reestablish himself in Philadelphia as the top 10 wide receiver we know he is more than capable of being. But capability versus reality are two very different things. We're asking for Jalen Hurts to make a leap as a passer and for the Philadelphia offense to fully commit to more pass volume. This could be a year where Brown finally breaks into that high-end wide receiver 1 territory, or this could be just another underwhelming year for a guy that you are drafting as your first wide receiver off the board. And my top wide receiver to avoid is TYREEK Hill. I hesitated to put both TYREEK Hill and Jaylen Waddle sitting in the top 3 of my receivers to avoid list, but the crux of the issue here is that they cannot both be top 15 receivers. I don't buy it as a possibility. The Dolphins certainly want to increase pass volume, but just how much are they realistically going to increase? Something has to give. And because it's a very unique situation, we can't truly predict which one of them will suffer the most. On one side, you have one of the most decorated receivers over the past 6 years, a guaranteed wide receiver 1. But new teams don't always bode well for veterans. On the other side, you have a second-year receiver coming off a fantastic rookie season where he took over as the team's wide receiver 1. On top of that, he has established chemistry from college with Tua Tagovailoa. We could see Tua favor his brand new shiny toy in TYREEK Hill, or we could see him lean on the proven trust that he has with Jaylen Waddle. It's a situation I'd just rather avoid as a whole. Thank you for watching this video. Remember, we are giving away a signed Gabriel Davis Buffalo Bills jersey. All you have to do is subscribe to the FantasyPros YouTube channel, comment below on this video, and that's it. The more you comment on our videos, the more chances you have to win.
Thanks for tuning in to the FantasyPros YouTube channel. Don't forget to check out our featured videos. And while you're at it, make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at FantasyPros, so you can get the latest news and updates to give you the edge you need in your fantasy league.